By the end of this video, you will have an amazing tool that you can use to break down, plan out, follow through on, and most importantly, achieve any goal. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, I'm running an experiment to see if it is actually possible to make a really big change in your life in just 90 days. Personally, I feel like that's a very short time frame and I'm a bit skeptical, but I'm also very curious. Am I just making up a story that is too short of a timeline, but you could actually do it if you applied yourself? Well, that's what we're here to find out, and I invite anyone who has a goal, big or small, to join me in this experiment. To give ourselves the best possible chance of reaching our goals within the next 90 days, we need a system to break those goals down into more manageable pieces, to track what we're doing, as well as to review on a weekly and monthly basis what results we're getting and if we think we need to adjust, change our approach, pivot, all that kind of stuff. I know for myself, I've always been pretty good at breaking down goals into smaller chunks as well as planning out the action steps. But where I have not been as strong in is actually tracking what I've done and then reviewing the results that I've gotten and if I'm actually moving in the right direction or not. And that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to create this YouTube series. I mean, primarily, I think breaking down my process and sharing the results I've gotten will be useful for other people. However, it also means that I need to actually track what I do and review the results I get and do so in detail. I can't just tick a bunch of things off on a list, get to the end of the 90 days, feel like I didn't really get what I wanted, and just shrug my shoulders and go, oh well. That won't really be helpful to anybody. I need to really take a look at why things did or didn't work, and I think that will be helpful to both myself and other people. Anyways, I wanted to go over how the free 90-day planner works because I made it, so it makes sense to me, but it might not be clear to others. I always learn best by seeing an example, so I'm going to walk everyone through how I've set up mine. If you don't have your copy of the planner template yet, there's a link in the description, and if you don't have a Notion account yet either, no worries, those are free to set up. All right, now that we all have the planner, I figured I could walk you all through how I'm breaking down my goal for the next 90 days, which is to find a new career at 40 years old since I'm being replaced by AI. By the way, if you're new here, aside from being clickbait in my video titles, the 90-day time frame is scientifically proven to be best for goal setting. It's neither too far in the future that your brain struggles to conceptualize it or feel any sense of urgency in terms of completing tasks towards it, but it still gives you a decent amount of time to take some actions and get some results. So you can see I've set the overall title for this page to my goal, and you can change the banner image, the icon, the colors of everything, and I really encourage you to do so. The more visually appealing this is to you, the more you'll want to engage with it. So let me show you how all those things work. So you can change the cover by clicking up here where it says change cover. You can go over to Unsplash. That's a stock image company that Notion has partnered with. And you can type in anything. Anything that would be relevant to your goal, that would inspire you when you looked at it, would remind you of what you're working towards, I think is good. Or you can just make it look pretty and cute. That's also fair. And then you can change the icon by just clicking on it. This is an emoji. So Notion has either emojis which have color or icons which don't. I like things to be cute and colorful, so I usually pick an emoji that's, again, usually related to the goal or just something that looks nice, whatever you want. And the colors can be changed by clicking on the dots next to the heading or the text that you want to change, and you can just go over here to color. So there's two color options in Notion. You can either change the text color itself or you can add a background color, but I don't believe you can do both. I think you have to pick one or the other. Let's see if that's true. That is true. Okay, so once you have it looking cute, let's get into how to actually use it. We have our main focus for the next 90 days, which is our big overall goal, finding a new career in my case. And I do have some pretty specific requirements for that career as well, in that I need it to bring in at least 8,000 Canadian dollars per month before taxes, not exceed 40 hours per week, and be flexible in terms of location, because I am Canadian, but I do not live in Canada during the winters. So I don't know if I could find a traditional job that would meet those requirements, but I'm open to any possibilities at this point. I've been completely self-employed for 10 years, so I literally have no idea what is available out there right now. Maybe you have a medium or small size goal instead of something big. That's fine. All goals are valid and welcome here. Whatever size goal you have, I want you to think of up to 3 projects that can support you in reaching whatever that goal is. And this is something important. You should have no more than 3 projects. I see you out there overachievers. You're like, oh, I'll do 10 different things because more is better, right? Well, no, you're going to spread yourself out too much. You're not going to be able to put in a solid effort on all of them, and probably you're going to burn yourself out. I'll make you a deal. If you finish all 3 before the end of the 90 days, then you're allowed to add 1 more project at a time, okay? All right, so for now, we will choose up to 3 projects that we think will move us towards our goal. And I think that's another important point. You don't need to have certainty that this is the right move or the right project. Remember, we are running an experiment. That means that we don't know how this will all work yet, and we need to collect data to be able to figure that out. You might start working on one of these projects, and based on the results you're getting, realize that it's actually not quite right, and you need to change your approach. Totally okay and allowed. That is, in fact, why we have the review sections of this planner, which we will get to shortly. So we're not going to get too caught up on picking the most perfect project or up to 3 projects of all time, and we're not going to worry about having 100% certainty if they will work out or not. Those 2 things will just keep us from taking action, and we need to take action to be able to collect data. My 3 projects are as follows. Number 1, and this one is scary for me as it's something that I've not done in a very long time, is building my professional network and job hunting. For the past 10-ish years, I was either running fully self-sufficient businesses that didn't require any contractors, or I was the contractor and my focus was on finding clients, not building relationships in my field. So my network is currently at 0. I don't currently have a resume, and both of those need to be built from the ground up. Under this project, I have created some tasks and milestones that I think, not that I know, but that I think would contribute to completing this project. So in my example, I have updating my resume, posting profiles on job boards, doing outreach to companies and people that I think are doing cool things and that maybe I could help or support in some way. These can absolutely be bigger things that require a few steps underneath them. That's not a problem. We're still working on the larger picture at this point. So you can break out these smaller steps under the task or milestone. You click on open here. That pops it open, and then you could put your to-do list in here, and then these can be ported over when you're doing your monthly and weekly planning and you're looking for more specific steps to work on. But right now, we don't need to get too detail oriented. You don't have to do this part of it at this point. I'm not sure why I do this, but I tend to forget about a task like as soon as it's completed, and then I get to the end of my week or I get to the end of the 90 days and I'm trying to think like, what did I actually do over that period? And I forget a lot of things. So this time around, I would like to have a written record of what has been completed, and then I think that will help me when I get to my reviews. My second project is to try and build a YouTube music channel. I had started one at the end of 2024, like the very end, and it was actually doing pretty well until I had a complication with the music service I was using. Long story short, through a technical glitch on their part, the channel got de-indexed or blacklisted or whatever you want to call it, and YouTube stopped showing my content to anyone. I started a new channel with a new music service, obviously, but for whatever reason, it just didn't get the same traction as the first one, so I kind of let it fall by the wayside. But I do love putting together playlists. I used to teach dance, and that was my favorite part of prepping for classes, so I would like to give this another go with a slightly different approach and also supporting it through other social media platforms. I have no idea if that will work, and that's okay. I'm going to find out. My third project is something I'm really excited about. I read a lot of books on high performance, personal development, time management, all that kind of stuff, and they're great. I read a book and I might implement what I've learned from it for a few days or a few weeks, and usually I see a positive result from it, but over time I tend to forget most of the advice, or I just get focused on something else. And I've always thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a planner that incorporates the best advice from all that research and all of those books and puts it into one place, so I don't have to rely on holding it all in my brain, because honestly that's just not possible. The other thing is that I want it to be highly customizable and cute. I don't see all of this happening in 90 days, but eventually I'd like to have this planner come as a base version, and then for customers to have the ability to order different packs to customize it. I'm talking themed sticker packs, collaborations with artists, special inserts for planning and tracking specific things, such as a wedding. You can order the planner in the color that best matches your aesthetic. You can get cute pens that match your planner, stuff like that. Sorry, I get excited about planning. One thing I wanted to show you guys real quick here is if you want to add an icon to your list, you see I've got cute little icons up here, and they weren't on this part yet. You can add that by clicking on these little dots over here. You just hover over to the left of the item, and then you click on icon, and I'm gonna look for a book, because there we go. My task there is to read Atomic Habits. I think I'm the only person in the world who hasn't read that book yet. So I have requested it from my library. I'm just waiting for my name to come up in the list. That's how you add an icon. So that's all of my projects. Now, we're not going to fill out this part right now, but below your projects, we have the review section that will be completed at the end of the 90 days. So if I go back up and get my start date here. So my start date was Monday, May 12th, 2025. Yeah, I know it's not a nice, clean first of the month start, but you can't let stuff like that hold you back. You got to just jump in, get started as soon as you can. I'm starting on the 12th. If you want to start with me and you see this video in time for it, great. If not, just start whenever you see this video. So that puts our end date, pardon me, to August 12th, 2025, approximately. So you will sit down with a cup of coffee, matcha, champagne, whatever it is, and you're going to review the previous 90 days. Did you achieve your goal? Why or why not? What were the challenges? What did you learn? What do you think went well? What do you think could be improved upon in the future? And so on. Once you've had a good think on how the last 90 days went, then you can decide what you want to commit to for the next 90 days. If you achieved your goal, you can set a new one. If you didn't, then you can decide if you want to keep working on that or if it's time for something else. Maybe it's time to switch focus. Maybe you made amazing progress, but 90 days just wasn't enough time for that particular goal. That's okay. Keep going on it. And for the folks out there who are not familiar with Notion, I'll just show you a couple of quick things. So if you want to add a new task under one of the projects, a task or a milestone, you click on new page there. You can type in whatever it is. And then if you want, you can add an icon to it. You don't have to, but you can. I like to do it because they're cute. And to change the pictures, if you want to swap this out, I mean, that dog's pretty cute, so, but if it doesn't resonate with your goal, that's fair. So you click on the three dots, more actions, and you're going to click on replace, and then that will bring up that window there where you can choose a new image. And I think that's it. I think that's all I need to explain about it. But if you guys have questions, please let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to answer. I am not a Notion expert. I would say I'm an upper intermediate user. So that's how it works. Pretty straightforward, I think. On Friday, we're going to go through the monthly planning section together. And then on Sunday, we'll do the weekly plan so that we are ready to hit the ground running on Monday morning. I'm really excited to do this. I hope you are too. Let me know in the comments what you're going to work on or what you are most excited for. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything important, and I will see you on Friday.